everybody. I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics. This is Thursday night, which means it is time for Shop Talk. So, Alan and I are going to be talking about comics, and Lord knows what else pops into our sick little heads. So, stick around after this to get your fill on that front. Guys, we have had a phenomenal run on this show the past, month and a half with really awesome guests every single week. And this week, love it or hate it, it's back to just me and Alan talking about comics, and we're going to do a previews review and all manner of other stuff. So without further ado, I will bring on the man of the hour, the man of the moment, the man of the YouTube shorts, Alan Breedlove. What's happening, Alan?
That is a lot of man, and I was not completely ready. So let me start over like you just introduced me and throw this out there.
How long does this go on?
And don't forget the people in the back row.
What's a guy got to do to earn that applause, man? Asking for a friend.
First of all, you got to control the button.
That would be helpful.
So yeah, we had to take our cat to the vet today.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's okay. She just wasn't feline well. Josh, wait a minute. It gets worse. All she needed was a CAT scan.
Wow. That's hideous.
It is.
Oh Lord, that ain't right, man.
It's not. But to be honest with you, I was saving this specifically for Nick Ellis next time he's on the show, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it to myself.
Boo!
Is that actually Nick? Because that sounds a lot like Nick.
No, that's not Nick. That was just one that I found online just so I could mess with him next time he's on the show.
It could still be Nick.
So I am kind of sad that we don't have a guest tonight, but at the same time, I am looking forward to talking comics tonight.
Me too, man. I've missed you hauling out that store folio and saying, here's what I got, here's what I'm reading. This is the throwback book of the week. I've missed that. And we were so chock full on guests the past month that we haven't even had a chance to do our previews review or any of that. But let's talk first a minute. Let's just do a quick throwback. I like that stickers on there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a quick recap of some of the guests that we've had on the past several weeks, right? We had on Kelly Yates. We had on Kyle Higgins, Mark London, Fred Kennedy, Nick Marinkovich. We had on Jim Valentino. That's like solid. Boom, boom, boom. Week after week after week. Man, that was amazing.
I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, it's all kind of still just one big massive blur. I mean, we spent so much time talking to people that I never would have imagined that we would have had on here. And then we capped that run off with Jim Valentino. It's like, honestly, we kind of needed a break this week.
We probably did. I will say, having Jim Valentino on, who was flipping great. This past weekend was Haven's 22nd birthday, right? And having him on like 3 days before our birthday, that was like the birthday present to the store for me. That was phenomenal. That made me so happy.
If any of y'all have not been able to watch some of these interviews that we've done, I highly encourage you to go back. Honestly, yes, we did ask some questions, but as strange as it sounds, I've never met any of these people in my entire life, but just sitting down and talking about these books with them, it was like sitting around the comic book store just talking comics with friends. It was a blast. I highly suggest that, if y'all like that type of stuff, just go back and check out some of those old ones. We had Each and every single one was completely and totally different. We had really and truly no set plan going into it other than just start talking. And I mean, some of the stories that Jim Valentino was telling was great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, Kyle Higgins was so much fun to talk to. Fred and Nick from Dead Romans. Oh, and speaking of Nick Markovich, if y'all do not follow him on Instagram, y'all need to go check out his Instagram page. He is constantly releasing new art for Dead Romans. He has released it, and some of it's making its way to Facebook. I know, like Jim Valentino posted some pictures today.
Yep.
And it's going to be some future cover art. And it's one of those that you see it, and the first thing you think is, I've got to have it. I have got to have it immediately. I mean, just some gorgeous art.
It is gorgeous art. I will say Fred Kennedy and Nick Marinkovich actually watched our interview with Jim Valentino because they emailed me about it later. Before they watched it, Fred was like, I hope you kind of subtly worked into Jim that we need to see that second story arc. And I said, oh, we were not subtle.
No,
we just flat out told him this needs to happen. And so then they went and watched. He's like, no, you weren't subtle at all, man. That was awesome.
Well, this is the way I look at it. That might be the one and only time that I will ever get to talk to Jim Valentino. So why hold back any?
That's exactly right.
I mean, right. It was the same thing with all the other interviews. And yes, you did hear Nick, but not you, Nick, Big Toe Nick. Dude, clip that thing. That's like hideous looking.
Get that off the screen, man.
Maybe put some Epsom sauce on it or something. I don't know.
Some betadine. But I tell you, the one that surprised me the most was the Kyle Higgins interview, right? I mean, we were interested in no one from what we read in our previews review a couple months ago. We thought that looked pretty cool. And we talked to him like, hey, if you want to come on, we'd love to have you because you're doing this thing, right? And so he's like, okay, cool. He comes on. And he made me, and I didn't think this would ever be possible, he made me desperate to read Radiant Black and some of the other books in the Massive verse that I had not. Because I was like, it's Power Rangers, which is not my bag. Yeah, that was after my time. Like, it's Power Rangers, just, his own spin on it. And maybe it is, but he made me super interested in it. We've ordered the trades up at the shop. We're loaded down on Trip Volumes 1, 2, and 3. And I think, we were loaded down before this weekend. I think we've only got one copy left of each one of those at this point. But holy smokes, I want to get caught up on that stat because this Catalyst War he's got coming out, I want to read.
Yep. As far as, and for those of y'all that don't know, Josh is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We've kind of got this group text going on the side, and Tots and I, the One True Zachary, we will just start talking insane crap on there about comic books that we're reading. And we've had this really good conversation going about No One, and y'all really, really, really need to check out No One. The story that he creates in the first issue alone is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he's followed the story up with various Twitter feeds, a website, a podcast,
all augmented reality stuff that's part of the world, right?
Yes, it will completely and totally suck you in. The comic book is the main story, but with all the extra stuff that he's added to it that you literally get for free. You don't have to pay for Twitter. You don't have to do what? Excuse me?
Boo! Boo!
I recognize the top of that head.
And you know what?
Boo!
I'm fine with the top of the head.
Boo!
I just hope all these accounts are subscribed to our channel. That's all I'm hoping.
Yeah, really. Just, hey, use all those email addresses to subscribe to us. We're good. But what I was saying was he has literally created almost a free world for you to go enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's really cool the way that he's done it, the way he sucked it all in. None of it feels forced. None of it is rushed. It's just like and I have not read a ton of Radiant Black and stuff. I read enough of it to familiarize myself with some of the characters and try to kind of get a feel for it. And for those of you that are reading it are going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing in that series feels rushed that I've read so far. Nothing feels like fan service or just jamming characters together to be jammed together. It's the same thing with No One. I mean, it is a very well thought out story, and everyone plays a very specific role. I cannot say enough good things about No One.
And the market is also speaking about No One. No One #1, which just came out a few weeks ago, is already selling for like $20.
That's good.
The market has taken notice of No One #1.
That was something that Tots and I were talking about a couple of weeks ago. We know, according to the interview that we did with Kyle, that No One is scheduled for 10 issues.
Yep.
That's it. It's a 10-issue run. I personally think that the mantle of No One is something that could be passed from person to person if done properly, and maybe do like some of the others, do 10 issues, take 6 months off, pass the mantle on, because when you look at this story and you read what he's actually put together, yes, this story can come to an end. There will definitely be a definitive end to this story, but the legend of No One can live on. And I mean,
right, because it's less of a person and more of a concept.
Yep.
That for this one brief period of time, this one individual, as far as we know, is actually embodying that concept, right? He's taken that concept and making something of it. There's a bit of a like the person you thought it was going to be is like, okay, I guess not. Right?
Yeah,
you're like, okay, I think I got this figured out. Oh, I guess not. I guess I have to wait to issue 2 to find out if I have a clue.
Yeah, it's one of those where you kind of put the comic down. You're like, well, yeah, I was wrong.
But you're not mad about it, right? It's not like you cheated. You're like, I was wrong, but now I need to know who it was.
Yeah. And with what happens with that person and what's going on at the same time with No One and that person's dad and everything, and you're just kind of like, wow. I mean, the timing of when everything happens in the book is perfect. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
And let's be honest, the artwork in that book is gorgeous.
Yep.
Top notch. That is a beautiful book. And let's talk about another one that we talked about on the show. We looked at it in the previews review, and you thought I was insane because I signed you up for this book. But then when you read it, you were like, holy smokes, Clear. All right, this is a Scott Snyder book. Oh, the Storefolio is out, y'all. Storefolio out.
Where are you at? I know I put you in here. There you are.
Boy, that Storefolio is full.
Yes. So what I did was I did not want to go and drag out 5 weeks worth of books. So I picked out a couple of books from each week that I thought that we should really talk about, that I thought a lot of people would like. And then one of the books that I picked out is one that's not even out yet. It'll be out in another month or 2. But since Josh brought it up, let's talk about Clear. So from my understanding on Clear, this is actually a series that Scott Snyder started on Substack.
He did, yes.
I don't know how far into the series they are on Substack. I don't
care. Substack might as well not exist as far as I'm concerned.
Well, does it even still exist, to be honest with you? Are people still doing it? I really don't know anything about it.
No idea.
Let's get.
I can tell you this: I ain't reading it on Substack. I'm going to read a comic.
Exactly. I never would have heard of this. I never would have read it if there was not an actual comic in my hand. No offense to people that like that type of stuff. That's just not my thing. Let's go ahead and get the obvious stuff out of the way right quick. Yes, this is a $4.99 book. Yes, this is a very thick book.
It is a thick book. It is very much a thick book.
You get your money's worth with this book. And There is one panel in it that if it had been a normal book, that would have been the end of the book, but it keeps going. And honestly, this one book could very possibly been split into two books. So you definitely get your money's worth. This is definitely a great read. But the whole premise of it is this is sometime after World War III, and a lot of people don't even refer to it as World War III. They refer to it as the Red War. You don't get a ton of, yes, Lizo Thick. You don't get a ton of backstory on the Red War. The way it happened and the way it's described, you're just kind of like it. For people that work in the IT community, the way they describe the Red War will actually scare you.
It scared me, and I don't work in the IT community.
Yeah, the whole premise
What's up, James?
The war began, America launched all of our missiles, and the missiles pretty much hit their apex and broke a U-turn and come right back in on us and we bombed ourselves with our own missiles. And the reason being is we had outsourced so many components that the computer chips that were in them, the Chinese had embedded code that would force the missiles to do that. And then got even kind of scarier a couple of weeks ago when I read online that we had introduced a smart missile. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's not good. Comic book's coming true. But the book actually picks up with, and I cannot think of his name right now. Our main character is a private investigator. And it's kind of a cross. The vibe, I guess, would be like a cross between, say, Blade Runner and Neo Tokyo, kind of that style. It's a little bit futuristic. In the future, everyone wears what they call veils, and you really and truly can't see the veil on the person's face, but each veil shows them the reality that they want to see. So, and Scott Snyder does a very good job describing it in the book. Say if you want, and they describe it as if you want to live on a zombie planet, everything you see is all zombies. If you want to live in the 1940s, everything you see is 1940s.
Yeah, it's less of a veil other people wear, and it's more like glasses you wear that makes you see the world you want to live in. So everybody lives in a different world.
Yep.
And whatever world you want to live in, you pay the subscription fee and you live in that world.
Yep.
Except for the main guy who's one of the Luddites who's like, screw that noise. I want to live in the regular world. And they've even made the real world super plain and gross looking so that when you've got your veil on, it's easier to make that building over there look like a castle or whatever to you. So they've taken a lot of extraneous features and things that to normal people would be aesthetically pleasing. And that's all gone. It's a strange world.
Yeah, it really is, and
it's a horrifying world because I think people would go for that.
That's what I was about to say. It's actually kind of terrifying. Some of the stuff that he writes about in this book, I could actually see happening in the real world. But basically, at the heart of the story, it literally starts off with a woman jumping off of what you could assume is the Golden Gate Bridge, or something along those lines. He is pulled in by the police department to identify the body. And he's very like non-emotional about it, almost like there's no attachment to this person whatsoever. But then you find out that she's actually his ex-wife that he has not spoken to in 5 years. And he makes a comment about when she finished her college degree, he had sent her a present, and he thought that he would at least have gotten, some type of response, but he didn't. Even if it made her mad, he never knew. When he gets back to his office, the box that he had sent this present in is sitting on his desk. It had been delivered. The exact same box, and inside of it was the present that he gave her, except on the back of it is the words, "I was murdered," has been engraved on it. And it just goes from there. I mean, this is a fantastic book. This blew my mind when I was reading it. It's literally everything you could ask for in a book. I mean, there's one particular part that I would love to see played out on a TV screen or big screen. He's basically been shot with like an augmented reality gun, and he is chasing the people that shot him. And it's not like it's going to kill him or anything. It's just he can see all the different veils all of a sudden. So like when he reaches off of his motorcycle to grab someone and pull them out of the car, you see the car window so far around them, you see like modern normal clothes from here down, but you also get a panel of it looks like he's pulling a cowboy out of a stagecoach. Different things like that. Just very well done. Art was beautiful. The art fits the story. If you're not reading, if you did not get a chance to pick up the first issue, issue 2 has not come out yet. This is one that you will not be disappointed in. Now, y'all know they're always going to make my list. AWA Studios, Black Tape #2.
So good.
How
good was it?
2 books. 2 books. And let me tell you what, I am sunk. I need the entire story now. It's kind of weird to explain to somebody that's not watching it, and it's really weird to explain to people that are not horror fans. But you've got your story, you've got everything that you want to see, but in the background, you can almost feel the looming darkness. You can feel it closing in, and it's getting closer and closer and closer. And they've done a great job setting this up. If you're a horror fan and a heavy metal fan, you need to read this book. It is so good. Even non-horror fans,
which I am not.
Yeah,
I am absolutely
there's nothing like gross or anything like that in there. You're not going to see people getting tortured or any of that stuff. It's really good suspense.
Yeah, he's building this sense of anticipation.
Yeah.
And the horror builds with it. So you're like, this is going to be so bad. And you're watching, but it's like this, right? Like, oh, God, no, don't. It's incredible. I've actually been talking to Dan Panosian, and I'm trying to get him to come on the show. And I specifically told him, I said, one of the ways you know a book is really good is if when he gets to the end of it, Alan is mad because he needs the next issue now.
Exactly.
And I said, he's really, really mad at you. And so when the second book came out, I said, I don't know if you know this, but you just made him twice as mad as you, because the second book ends somehow or other. I don't know how he did it. The second book ends with the exact same kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how can you do? You can't do that twice in a row. And he just did it. And it's awesome.
Yeah. The first book, you're literally reading it and you're like, oh, what is that? And you see like the pictures and the thing, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's not reading it, but you see the pictures and then the thing that's hanging below the pictures and, those little things that I'm talking about. And you're just like, oh, this just got so creepy. What is fixing to happen? Then in the next book, he doesn't go into that.
You don't start there at all.
No, does not start there, and just slowly starts building it again. And then this is what's really and truly aggravating me about this book right now. If y'all can see, that says 2 of 4. We've got 2 more issues. Based on the first 2 issues, we are now at the apex of the roller coaster, and the next 2 issues are going to be nothing but a brutal onslaught to the senses. It's going to be great.
I 100% agree with you on that. I concur completely. What a great, great book.
Yep,
beautiful book.
We're going to hold off on this one. This one's a future book.
Hey, that's awesome, man. Roy Thomas is going to be here in just a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks. Roy Thomas is going to be here. So if you've got any messages we need to pass along for you, just let us know. That's great. He loved the fact you had questions. That's good, because we'll have a lot of questions. We'll go to him with a list.
Oh, I just now saw this. No, I did not. My sister got sick and tired of everybody making fun of her butt ugly curtains, so she changed them herself.
We feel so bad for your sister. I think we need to take up a donation and send her some money. We're sorry about your curtains. Here, go buy yourself something nice.
Yeah, sorry about your curtains. Oh, what's up? That's one of my coworkers.
Oh, hello, coworker. You don't get enough of Alan on the job.
Oh, please, no. It's no. It's bad. There is nothing sacred in our office.
What
So,
you got next?
do what?
What you got next?
Next, you knew it was coming. Fantastic Four #5.
Heck yes.
The team is back together. We've got a full story of just them. Yes, they did technically get back together in 4, but they had some issues to work out. But we got a Fantastic Four adventure in issue 5. This was fun just for the simple fact that it was not universe ending. It was not the crisis of the week. It was just a Fantastic Four adventure. I mean, it's exactly what it should have been. And at the very end of it, you get just a little bit of oh, wait a minute, no, that could be bad in another episode down the line. So it's Fantastic Four has been great. One that actually shocked me, this one kind of flew under the radar. To be honest with y'all, I was filming a short and I saw it and I thought, let me just go ahead and read it. And I was really surprised. Superman Lost. Basically, the whole premise of the book is, in a nutshell, Superman has gone on a mission with the Justice League, and he basically returns to the apartment. It's just him and Lois. Do it.
Tell him to come on the show. We'll talk to him.
Yeah, really. When he gets back to the apartment, actually Lois turns around and he's just standing there. And he's got this blank look on his face, this blank expression. And it's basically, well, you weren't gone that long. Is everything okay? And about that time, there's a knock at the door. Bruce is at the door and seems absolutely shocked to see Superman standing there. And Superman is like, I was gone for 20 years. So whatever happened to them, he was only gone what we think is a couple of hours. But to him, he was lost somewhere in the universe for 20 years alone.
Lost in time and space.
Exactly. But yeah, that's very well done. It's written by Priest.
Christopher Priest, yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, very, very good. This first issue was definitely intriguing enough for me to say, I've got to read the entire 10 issues. Because there's no way that they're going to be able to explain what happened in just a couple of issues. This is one of those that definitely is a 10-issue maxi run. But I was really surprised in it. Something that I had no idea was coming out. I don't remember a ton of advertisements or anything for it. It just kind of showed up on the shelf one day, and I just kind of picked it up. And I mean, I think there's still a couple of copies left at the store.
There are.
If you are even a casual fan of Superman, you don't even have to be that big a fan of Superman. This is going to be a really good series just to kind of scratch that itch. It's definitely well written. Definitely some very nice art in it. You do have the entire Justice League at one point, so you kind of get a little bit of everybody. But it's going to be centered around Superman, and I'm sure Batman's going to have enough to play into the situation also. But yeah, the casual fan or someone that's just wanting to pick up a Superman book just to check it all out, I would definitely go with Superman Lost. You're going to get the whole story in 10 issues. Next up, and I fell in love with this, the very first issue, Vanish #5. Vanish #5 introduces an extremely interesting concept in this. Not only is our main character, our main character in this book is an alcoholic. He is a drug addict. He has had tons of issues because of his past. Basically, the world needs him now, and he's working through his issues so he can do what has to be done. So Donny Cates has done a really good job writing that aspect of him. Ryan Stegman has done an amazing job capturing that in the art style. But in this particular issue, in issue 5, our main character is in a mental institute.
Yep.
Basically the doctor is, was his old mentor, the person that he was trying to avenge. Everybody that you've read about in the first 4 issues is, works in the hospital. It's like, and they're trying to bring him back to reality. They're trying to help him, but he keeps flashing to this other world where he's this hero that's secretly playing a villain so he can go after the villains that are secretly playing as heroes. And
if that all sounds confusing, it does sound confusing to describe it, but when you read it, it's all described very quickly and succinctly and makes total sense.
Yeah, and that's it. It does sound extremely confusing. To be honest with you, the way Donny Cates wrote this, at a certain point in it, you're going to start questioning on which is the actual reality.
Well, it's a little bit like what if Moon Knight and Harry Potter had a baby?
Yeah.
And that's what this world is. It's completely twisted and messed up and crazy, but there's still some heart there in the middle of it, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, but then when you get when you find out what's really going on, you're just kind of like, oh wow, okay, that was kind of perfect. I mean, this honestly, and I know a lot of people did not like it. I'm one, and a lot of people did like it. I loved God Country. I just thought God Country was just a great book. To me, this right here is literally the best thing that Donny Cates has written so far. Mm-hmm. And that says a lot because I really did love God Country.
Help you, I will. No, mine.
This is definitely not a book for kids.
No.
Yeah, this is definitely a book that the adults are going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. And it's not like sex or anything like that. It's just the meat of the story. It's just the content, what they're talking about.
And there is some boys level violence.
Yeah, there's definitely some violence in it. But as far as the overall arching concept of it and what this character's gone through, no, definitely not for kids.
No.
Let's split these up a little bit. Detective Comics 1070. The reason why I grabbed this is, and you know what? You've corrected me 1,000 times. You just going to have to correct me 1,000 times more. Ram 5, whatever his name is. I got to admit, when he first started writing Detective Comics, I did not like it. I did not like his writing style. That first issue that he did was kind of like that opera issue where it was mixing in some of the opera and stuff. And to me, I just thought it was weird. But the good thing about Detective Comics is it comes out every couple of weeks, so you can kind of jump into the next issue. And I thought, I'm going to give him a few issues just to kind of see if I can figure out what this guy's telling us. Each issue has gotten better and better and better. The story has gotten deeper and richer and more intriguing. Detective Comics issue number 1070. This is what Detective Comics should have always been. This story is phenomenal once he got past the setup and everything.
He did have to do some setup because he did some very different things.
Yeah.
Like the historical deep dive into old Gotham and things like that. He did some interesting stuff.
And see, by the time you get to issue 1070, every single bit of that makes sense now.
Yeah.
It's just beautifully written. You just had to get to this point.
Yeah, you had to be patient with the setup because it does pay off.
Yeah, and Batman is dark. Batman's brooding. Batman is going to be relentless, even if it kills him. I mean, it's exactly what you want Detective Comics to be.
Yep.
So yeah, Detective Comics. We'll just go ahead and knock out the other Batman. I know issue 134 come out this week.
Yes, it did.
But I've got issue 133 right here. Number one, Chip Zdarsky. I mean, that right there should tell you everything you need to know. This current Batman run with him in an alternate universe on a parallel Earth has been really, really, really good for the simple fact that Bruce Wayne is having to learn what it means to be Batman all over again on some level. The whole I am vengeance, I am the night, they need to fear me. He has seen a world where there is no Batman and the criminals they don't fear anyone. So he is having to become fear again. For those of y'all that are still mad over Alfred being dead, Alfred's still alive on this world. I mean, I don't think I'm going to throw any spoiler out there because I could be wrong, but I do believe that they will be bringing this Alfred to the current world. And the reason why I say that is this Alfred misses his Bruce, just like our Bruce misses his Alfred. I mean, it's that father-son relationship. There's a way to now officially bring Alfred back, and it makes sense. Oh, and there's a way for Bruce to get all the money back too, because on this world, Alfred's a billionaire.
Correct.
Correct. The money's coming back.
I like the little love interest they had between Alfred and Leslie, the doctor. I thought that was really cool because they've known each other forever in every iteration of Batman, but it was really cool to see them kind of explore that a little bit. You don't get a lot of it, but you get enough to go, okay, there's something going on there. Good on you, Alfred.
Yeah, and I really like the way Zdarsky wrote that whole ball/party scene where Bruce is dancing with Selena.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, keep in mind, he's on a different world where that Bruce Wayne is dead. There was never truly a Batman. And he's dancing with Selena Kyle, and he's having to continually remind himself that's not his Selena.
Not my Selena.
Yep. Yeah, not my Selena. But he says something, and you're just kind of like, oh, wow, damn. He literally says in there that basically it doesn't matter because he's going to love her no matter which world he's on. And so, I mean, he really does go somewhere with it. And I did like that throwback to Tom King's Bat and the Cat. I mean, that's exactly what that was.
Wait until you read number 134 and you see what the origin of the story's antagonists really is, or if not the whole origin, at least the background and stuff. Because once you see it, you're like, oh, no, thank you.
Is he someone that we've seen before? Is he someone that we know in, our universe that we know of and not this one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, very, very much so.
Good.
And it's blatantly obvious. The minute you see it, you're like, no.
Oh, see, I hate when I do that because then I get mad at myself because I think it should have been something that I should have picked up on sooner.
It is, and you should have, and you didn't. Same as me, so yes. Yeah, when you read it, you're going to want to kick yourself because then you're like, no.
I should have seen that.
Right, but it makes it cool. It makes it cool.
So we've got, hey, lo and behold, we've got nothing but independent comics left.
No Daredevil?
Throwback.
Okay.
So Trojan, number 3 of 4. Guys, this book has been fun. We are like straight up in the kill box now. That is all there is to it.
That first issue was such a total mind screw, though. You're like, this is dark and depressing, and what is happening? And then you get to the end, and you're like, whoa.
Yes, and then have you the second issue? You start finding out more and more and more, and you're like,
things are not what they seem.
Yeah, this isn't dark and depressing. This just took a wicked turn. And then the end of it, you're like, huh? Excuse me? No, you don't do that at the end of the comic and then make me wait a month. That's not acceptable. But it was worth the wait. I cannot even begin to describe what all is going on in this book. It's extremely difficult to explain, but the whole thing makes sense, perfectly written, and you go from feeling sorry for this girl, as in, oh my God, I understand why she's doing what she's doing. Would I have the courage to do something like that? And then by the end of the second issue, you were like, oh my God, I understand what she's doing. Would I have the courage to do something like that? You just go on and keep doing it. By the third issue, with what happens toward the end of it and the way it's set up, the final issue, once again, that final issue is going to be just straight up action, nonstop. Hopefully, honestly, they could end it in 4 issues. They could end the entire story, and there would be no point in taking it forward. I don't know if AWA has plans for a second arc. I could see where they would do a second arc because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but she is not what she seems. She's actually something that's totally different. And what's totally different, there should be 3 of them. And if she ever finds the other 2 that are out there, she could literally change the entire course of her people's future. And I mean, I could see a direction that they would go with it. I just don't know if they're going to go that far into it. But 4 issues, yeah, great. Y'all have got to pick these up. If you love independent comics, this right here is everything that you love about independent comics.
And if you don't love independent comics, I would challenge you to reevaluate the independent comic scene. If you haven't checked them out in a while, if you haven't seen what people are doing, I'm telling you, the comics, the independent companies are putting out a lot of great stuff now. And a long time ago, independent mostly meant no production values, no polish.
Yeah.
Anymore of that, it's 100% not true. Independent comics can put out a comic of equal or better value, production values wise, to anything that Marvel or DC is doing. The technology is there, the capabilities there. You can do smaller print runs of equal quality to what the big boys used to do. And I got to tell you, the creativity that comes with not having anybody in an editorial position telling you yay or nay, you can do that, or you must do this, or you cannot do that. These writers and artists are putting together some phenomenal stories. I mean, absolutely phenomenal stories. And if you're averse to it because it doesn't have a big M or a big DC on the top, seriously, reconsider. Check some of these books out because they are well worth it.
Yeah, you're really cutting yourself off when you're not reading some of these independent books. For every single reason that you said, and just keep in mind, a lot of these independent creators and these independent companies, they're not bound by any particular rules. This may sound bad, and I don't mean it to sound bad. I'm not trying to be derogatory toward anybody on any level, but these independent comics are not held back by brand recognition. Marvel and DC are held back by brand recognition a lot of times. But these independent creators are not. They can just go for it. And if you're not into independent comics, I'm about to show y'all 2 comic books that independent creators, I would love to have a couple of these people on here. We've already had one person kind of on here. This is the book that you should pick out. There's no superheroes in this book. This is straight up espionage. You know exactly what book, just because I said that.
Yep.
For those of y'all that read the book, there's a character in this book that by the end of the book, y'all remember that one cartoon when we were kids, and it was like the great big Native American, and it was like, I know a secret I can't tell. That's kind of how I felt about this one character. He has got a massive secret that he cannot tell anybody, but everybody's fixing to find out. And that's in Red Zone #1. Basically, he is a college professor that the special forces have come to, and they're like, we've got to get to Russia. We've got to take you with us. There's someone that we need to get out of there that's got information, but she'll only come if you're there. And you find out that it's kind of, maybe a former lover or something, that they had worked together. Basically, it all hits the fan. The special forces people get axed. I'm not giving y'all a spoiler because that has to happen for there to be a story.
Yep.
But he's got this little notebook, this college professor, and he ends up just kind of walking away with this one particular person, and they end up in a safe house. And guess what's in the safe house? All the guns and stuff that he apparently left the last time he was there. He has got something that he did when his younger self that is fixing to come to the surface, and it's going to be fun.
You know what that scene reminded me of? It reminded me of back in the day when you finally get the origin of Hobgoblin. Like, who was Hobgoblin?
Yep.
And you see where Ned Leeds discovered one of the little safe houses, hidey holes of Green Goblin, and found the glider and the suit and all that stuff. And he's like, I'm going to become this evil person. The scene where he just discovers, you open the door, there's this room full of all this stuff. And you're like, whoa, that's not what was supposed to happen here. It really felt to me, I had flashbacks to the origin of Hobgoblin when they finally revealed who it was. And that was fantastic.
Yeah, and this one, it's written by Cullen Bunn. It just come out, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yep.
It's not too late. You can still hit FOC. I mean, this is, if you're looking for something that does not involve superheroes, it does not involve some type of mystic powers, magic, or anything like that. If you're just wanting a break from all that stuff, get Red Zone. Red Zone is, it's exactly what you need it to be. It really is. And this next book, this is and then we'll have the throwback pick. This next book has not come out yet. Josh had an advanced reader copy. I've read the advanced reader copy now. I'm still signed up for the book. I still want the normal copy. I still want to see where all this is going to go. You still have time to sign up for this. You need to sign up for it. That would be Monomyth #1 by Mad Cave. Think grown-up Harry Potter with a little bit of cussing. I mean, it's literally what it is. The whole premise of the book is magic is pretty much on its last leg. It's dying out. A wizard casts a spell, and the spell actually, for lack of a better word, reverberates through the ages. And it ends up basically choosing what's going to be, I guess the way to put it would be the next generation of sorcerers that can actually save everyone and help people and bring magic back. But it's tracked through the bloodlines. So these people are all connected through blood somehow. All of their families go back to a certain point of origin somehow, some way, at some point. That's never actually said in the book. That's just, to me, what makes sense. They've got to be connected somehow. And here's the thing about it. They are literally plucked out of their normal everyday lives where they were at that moment. And they are just all of a sudden out of nowhere at this castle. And basically they are thrown together and they are having to figure it out. And they've got to work together, and they've got to work as a team to get through it all before they even get to the point where they start training. Very well written, really good. I love the art. The art fits the story very nicely. It's, like I said, I don't think it comes out for like another month, maybe 2 months. So you have time to sign up for this book. I don't want to give anything else away on it other than I can tell you right now, the people that will like this book, Tots, you'll like this book. I know you will. Nick, you'll make fun of it, but you'll like it. I know you will. It does have this really bizarre feel that is somewhere between Harry Potter, The Goonies, and maybe a little bit of Lord of the Rings thrown in. It's just the perfect combination of all three. Fun book. I highly suggest y'all sign up for it and check it out. It's called Monomyth by Mad Cave Studios. And then for my throwback pick of the week,
Throwback Thursday.
I literally just grabbed one for no particular reason other than I love the cover. I think it's a great cover. And I can't say enough good things about this cover. We have Daredevil, issue number 114.
Hold it up higher there. There you go.
And in issue number on, we've got Man-Thing, Daredevil. We even got, oh, wait a minute, Black Widow right here. It's just a fun looking cover. I mean, it's one of those that, I mean, nothing special about the book. I think we're looking at like maybe a $5, $10 book. It's nothing spectacular. Nothing that's going to break the bank or put the kids through college or anything. It's just a fun book. It's just a fun throwback to that era. So that was my throwback pick of the week for no other reason other than I love her.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Uh-huh.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
And now that I've gone for almost an hour over comic books.
Well, we had to get that out of our systems because it's been a minute since we got to talk comics.
And
or at least this in this way.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to think that that's the only things that come out over the course of the past month that we haven't done this. You know, the current Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run, fantastic. I've pretty much hammered y'all on Daredevil and Batman.
And Batman and Joker Deadly Duo.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to read number 6 yet?
That one come out this week, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, because I'll head up to the store tomorrow. I gotta be honest with you, the end of number 5 scared me just a little bit, and I might have pee-peed some. I'm not sure. I was not expecting that, and that was creepy as hell looking.
Oh, wait, yeah. You get more. You get a lot more.
I definitely want more.
And then you find out that there's been some kind of a secret handshake deal between a couple of characters. So there's some backstabbing going on, but then the backstabbing was anticipated. You're like, this turned into an escape from hell heist movie.
Now, issue 6 is the last issue, right?
No, number 7 is the last issue.
7 is the last issue. Okay.
Yeah, and this one ends like it's a crazy book. It's a crazy book. It's a crazy book, but man, is it fun.
He has done such a great job writing this book.
I have to confess, I was pleasantly surprised. I knew it was going to look beautiful. I didn't know if it was going to read like an awesome book, but it's very clear that he put a lot of thought into this. He being Mark Silvestri, put a lot of thought into this, and that this is a labor of love. This is something he's been doing for a long time because he likes it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's not all been 100% dark and serious. There's been
not at all.
I mean, there's definitely been some humor to it. But it's just everything's been the perfect blend of humor, dark, serious. I mean, it really shocked me at how good this is. I was not expecting a 7-issue series from him that was this good. Not that there's anything against him. It's just I wasn't expecting it because to me, he's always been an artist.
Well, right, and a team guy for a lot of the stuff he's done, right?
Yep.
But you picture. I think this is going to be one of those kind of evergreen trades when they collect the whole thing into one volume where you're like, what's a really good Batman story? I want to read a good Batman story. Oh, read this one. I'll pull this one off the shelf and recommend it to people. You should read this one because it's got a lot going on and it's fun.
So do they already have are they already starting to put the trades out for order and everything, or?
They usually start that right about the time the last issue comes out. So that'll be next month, most likely.
Okay, so I've actually enjoyed that series so much. Go ahead and put me down for a trade, and when it comes in, we're going to give it away on the show.
Love it.
So we will just do, because that's been a fun series. I mean, it really has been.
Agreed. It has been a great series. I've been very happy with it. I will say I'm still really frustrated that we haven't had any announcements whatsoever about G.I. Joe 301.
You know,
It's been dead quiet.
Bill sent me a text message last night when we was talking to Valentino, and Bill was like, "Hey, you think he might know anything about Skybound and GI Joe?" I really wanted to ask about that. I just didn't feel like it. But we're at the point now, even if he does, he still wouldn't be able to say anything.
Oh no, he couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bill, Bill, did you? If you haven't gone by the store yet, you should have a GI Joe #1 in your box.
Oh Lord.
Just saying. You said you needed one. There should be one in your box. We'll try and take care of you, man. It's actually a really good copy too. It's very nice. So that'll be in your box waiting for you. Did you see all those comics we got in this past weekend?
Yes, I did. Because I dug through that first massive haul that come in, looking through stuff. And
Guys,
then
what a load of books, man. We had Fantastic Four #48, first appearance of Galactus and Silver Surfer. Fantastic Four #49, the second appearance. Fantastic Four #50, the third appearance. Fantastic Four 53, the second appearance of Black Panther, first appearance of Claw. Fantastic Four 67, the first appearance of him, aka Adam Warlock. Holy smokes. We got an Avengers #2. We got a Werewolf by Night #1. Adventures into Fear #10, the first appearance of Man Thing. We got a Tomb of Dracula #1. We got Night Nurse #1 in surprisingly good shape, and that is a tough book to find. We got in Tales of Suspense #75 and 76, first appearance of Peggy Carter, Batroc the Leaper, all kinds of stuff. We got in DC Comics Presents 26, first appearance of the Teen Titans. Secret Wars #8, first appearance of Spidey's black suit. We got in dozens of keys. It was a ton of key issues, and it was fan-freaking-tastic. G.I. Joe 21, first Storm Shadow. Yes, that was in there too, along with that G.I. Joe.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was digging through some of that stuff so hard, mainly because I was looking for a Fantastic Four #11 just so I could hold it over Nick Ellis's head. And to be honest with you, I might have bought it just so he couldn't.
That's totally fair. I get that. There was a great run of X-Men during the whole Phoenix saga. 129, 130, 131, 32, 33, all that stuff. Great run of X-Men, a lot of Spider-Man books. There were a ton of DC books, and if you're into some of the kind of offbeat DC books of the 70s, like the Westerns, like Scalp Hunter, there's all kinds of stuff. It was a huge, huge run of books with some great catches in there.
Yep.
So I posted about it on Haven's Facebook page. So if you want to scroll back through a couple of lines and find that, some phenomenal stuff. It's all been priced now. All the keys have been priced. Let me rephrase. I've still got tubs of comics to sort through. But the keys have all been priced. They're up on the wall at the shop. We will be taking them to the Expo. And if we don't sell them at the Expo, some of those, like the Fantastic Four 48, 49, we're going to send off and get graded. But holy smokes, some awesome books, y'all.
Wasn't there a first appearance of Black Knight in there? Did I see that?
No, that's not one of the ones we got. That was one of the. We were making a trade with a dude. He kept that one.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, what say we take a quick look through our previews, review, and see what's coming up that we're excited about.
Let's see what we got.
Let's do it.
I'm
excited for comics.
Pull it up online.
You haven't sung the song yet.
What song?
You're the one you're going to make up about how excited you are for comics.
Oh, I haven't made one up yet.
Well, go for it. You have to do it live on the spot.
I got my comics today. Yes, I did. I got my comics today. How's that?
Ah, it came with dance moves. That's awesome.
I know.
I wasn't expecting that. See, and that's going to be a good short for Wednesdays.
No,
Uh,
it won't be.
all right. So right out of the gate, we'll start with Marvel. Uh, Ultimate Universe is dead and gone, or is it? So Ultimate Invasion #1. Note those names at the top. Written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Brian Hitch. Jonathan Hickman, we're talking phenomenal guy, had a great run on Fantastic Four. He wrote House of X and Powers of X. Guy knows how to write a story. And he's doing Ultimate Invasion #1. So you got Reed Richards, you got evil Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe. You got Miles Morales from the Ultimate Universe. What is happening here? This is going to be awesome, and I'm excited. Thoughts, Alan?
Huh?
Thoughts? What do you think about that?
Honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about it, and here's the reason being. I love what he did with House of X and Powers of X. I thought that those were very well done, but I feel like Marvel completely and totally dropped the ball after that.
Well, they did, but I don't care about what happens after it if I get a good book.
Now, what's going to happen, what he's going to do with it, it's going to be great. I mean, I'm definitely getting it. I'm definitely going to read it. We're definitely going to talk about it, and I'm pretty sure we're both going to love it. It's just I'm also setting myself up for ultimate disappointment for afterwards.
That's fair. Incredible Hulk #1, relaunching Incredible Hulk, The Age of Monsters.
You know what that actually reminds me of right there, and this will be the second week in a row this character's been brought up. He reminds me of a green pit right there.
Well, yeah, he does have that wild look like Pitt had for sure.
Yeah.
But those both look interesting. I gotta say, this new Black Panther #1, King Without a Crown, y'all. I don't know if you can see how awesome that cover actually is.
It's there. It focused a little bit then. Yeah, that does look nice.
That's awesome. King Without a Crown, Black Panther #1. That's awesome. Speaking of awesome, these Disney covers that they're doing for the Disney 100 for y'all.
I'm seriously considering sending that one off to get it graded when it comes in.
That's just a gorgeous cover.
I think that would be a good one to have in a slab and put away and keep for the bug for later on down the road.
Hang on down the road. All right, we already talked about Ultimate Invasion #1. Let's scroll through. See what we got. We talked about this new Incredible Hulk. That looks really interesting. Talked about Black Panther. Black Panther is written by Eve Ewing, which I have to guess is Al Ewing's wife or sister.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just totally separate person, but I have to guess that it's not. And here's a little preview of an interior page from this book. I want you to look at this art, especially look at this monster. If I can get it to focus. You see that?
Now, is this going to be a new ongoing series, or is it going to be?
Yeah, it's a new ongoing. Pretty impressive looking, I have to say. Let's see what else we got here. A new Loki 4-issue limited series.
Nice.
Loki's been pretty popular. We have got some really cool Loki statues of alligator Loki up at the shop, and those are fantastic. Highly recommend. Let's see. Scarlet Witch has been a great book, and I wouldn't normally bother to point out something like this, but this is the cover for the Scarlet Witch annual. That's just gorgeous.
Yeah, I know the bug. I still haven't read it, but the bug is really enjoying it.
You need to read it, Alan. As much as you like a good character-driven story,
yeah.
The whole premise of the book is she got to the end of her rope, right? And everything was terrible. She didn't know what to do. And with her laws of improbability or whatever she did, she created a thing which she calls the last door. and you open the last door when you got no other choice. Whatever door you open, when you open it, you step into this bookshop that she has on the other side.
Okay.
And it's run by Darcy, the character from WandaVision, and who is in Thor.
Yeah.
The kind of sidekick character to Natalie Portman. She works at the bookshop. And so every issue, a different person comes through that door with a different story. Sometimes you know who that person is, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just a normal everyday person. Sometimes it's somebody who's in a terrible situation on an alien planet. It's bizarre, but every issue is new and interesting. And then there's a backup story that's going on that does some interesting things with Storm. Because Storm is the weather witch, right? So she's not just a mutant. Turns out she's also legit, really honest to goodness a witch. And she doesn't know her powers until Scarlet Witch starts to kind of walk her through, and it starts to get freaky. You're like, whoa. So Storm is already a mega level mutant, and now she's like, yeah, she's something. Hang on, let me see what this is. Yes, go for it, man. Go for it. Just let me see it. I'd be curious. Some amazing Spider-Man. I have to say, this is who did this cover? I don't know who did this cover, but whoever did it, this is one of the worst Doc Ocks I have ever seen in my life. That looks like Dr. Octopus is the love child of MODOK and Dr. Octopus. That's hideous.
That is the Disney XD Doc Ock.
It's hideous.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. Let me guess, is he going to be facing off against Gold Goblin?
Probably.
If he is, Nick Ellis needs that book. Sign him up for
it. New Deadpool, Batter Blood. Is it going to be good? I don't know. It's written and drawn by Rob Liefeld, so what it will be is probably late. But co-creator of the character, probably going to be what you would expect and want from that character. For everybody to know, I want you to see, those are drawn by Rob Liefeld, y'all.
That is gorgeous.
Those are feet.
Oh, I didn't even notice the feet.
Yeah, look, it's feet, and Rob Liefeld drew them. And they look like feet.
The kid might have a future.
Keep at it, kid. You might have a future in this business. Yeah. I really want to talk to him now, especially after talking to Jim Valentino last week. I really want to talk to him.
I was about to send him a message on Twitter the other day just to see what would happen.
Tell him Jim Valentino sent us.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pester anybody else until we get past the Pop Culture Expo.
That's probably a smart idea because, Lord have mercy, that is coming up fast. Here's another interesting book, Spider-Man India from the Spider-Verse. We got Spider-Man India's got a 4-issue limited series coming out.
Okay, so everybody knows that the Into the Spider-Verse 2 trailer come out the other day.
And man, does that look good.
It looks good, but are we going to start getting 1 billion Spider-Man books a week now for the rest of the summer? I mean, are they going to start hammering us with title after title of different Spider-Man?
That's probably a safe assumption. I would assume that that's a safe assumption. No other new number ones here as we're scrolling through. I think we're probably at the end of that. They're not going to tuck the new number ones away, hiding in the back. I will say, though, this cover of Thor with Hela riding on this giant boil-infested undead megalosaurus deer.
But Nick, at least the fanfic still has Gwen Stacy.
Ouch! That's
look at
true.
That tiny head as it jokes on your favorite character.
But look at this cover, y'all. Hela riding this ginormous megalosaurus. That's crazy.
I don't know what she's riding, but it definitely reminds me of Frazetta.
It does. Yeah, it's like a giant undead deer. It's if you've ever been to the Smithsonian Museum of Natural Science in DC,
Yeah.
you'll see a skeleton for a megaloceros. It was a megafauna deer that they have found the skeletons of. That this thing was a deer the size of a small dinosaur. It was humongous. I could ride on it comfortably without it even noticing I was there.
Oh, wow.
It's big. It's big. Yeah, Spider-Man Blue, man, that was a great story. If you haven't read them all of those Tim Sale books that they did were great. Spider-Man Blue, Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Gray, Captain America White, I believe. All of those were really good. There wasn't a bad one in the bunch.
And
All right.
Nick, to be honest with you, you keep talking about you want a good Mary Jane Spider-Man story. You need to read Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt.
Yes, he does. But will he?
Probably not.
He says what he wants, but he won't actually do it. Ryan, what's happening, man? Good to see you, brother. Ryan, comics and death metal. What do I think of Spider-Boy? I think for anybody who doesn't know, Spider-Boy was just introduced in Spider-Man number 7 or 8, whichever one it is. I think number 7, written by Dan Slott, art by Mark Bagley. The super top secret reveal cover was by Humberto Ramos. It's a fun looking character that it strikes me as not my thing. It seems dumb to me. Anyway, we're on to DC now. New book coming up, The Penguin, written by Tom King. Penguin number 1.
You had me at Tom King.
This cover, the variant cover by Verity, who is going to be at the Expo, by the way, of Penguin with a straight out of Gotham tattoo. That's just
nice.
funny. That's funny right there. I don't care who you are. That's funny. Let's see. What else we got? Superman Action Comics. Superman. We do have some big news. I'm trying to find it here because they're not doing a whole lot of new. There's not a lot of series launches this month from DC. But it doesn't mean they're not doing some cool stuff. The whole Dawn of DC is happening right now, where they are introducing, it's a soft reboot for DC, and one that I think that they need.
It's been really good so far. It's actually brought me back to wanting to read Superman again.
That's a tough road to hoe for me because it's going to take a lot to get me reading that again.
The issues 1 and 2 have been really good, and where they're at with action has been really good too. It's really hard to explain. It's with Superman and Batman, sometimes it's more of a feeling that you get when you read them.
Yep.
And they're if that's who I think it is. Oh no, that's not the one I was thinking was. If they keep doing with what they're doing with action and the Superman title, yeah, they're going to get there with him pretty quick. I mean, it's definitely been enjoyable to read again. It feels like Superman.
Look, y'all, Mark Waid, Joshua Williamson have stories in here. And it's part of the Dawn of DC. Joshua Williamson is the one that's kind of the architect of this whole Dawn of DC. So it's going to be a good thing for you to read. The other big one, here it is. This is the other one I was wanting to show you guys.
800 coming up for Flash.
Yep. Also, Wonder Woman number 800.
And once again, you had me at Tom King.
Yes, sir.
I have not read a Wonder Woman comic book since New 52. And I will be signing up for this. I want to see what Tom King does with this character. I really do.
I'm excited for that too, because Tom King it's the kind of thing he does very well with. I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to show off this cover because number 1 came out this week, I think. Peacemaker Tries Hard. This is the cover for number 2.
What
But
is
if
that on
you
top
like
of
the
the girl's
show
head?
Peacemaker, if you enjoyed that on HBO Max, this is apparently they have decided that yes, that sense of humor that the show has, that maybe the comic should have that too. So that's what they're doing. Not a lot of new books outside of that here this month from DC. It's a pretty small month for new series launches, but some good stuff here. And the Dawn of DC, don't sleep on that. They seem to actually have a plan, and I think I like what they're doing. It's similar to what they're kind of softly doing over at Marvel with books like Fantastic Four, Scarlet Witch, that kind of stuff. They're just going back to good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing a lot of fanfare. They're not like shouting it from the rooftops, but they are going back to good storytelling. And if it's not too late, and if they actually promote these books and get people on board, I think they're set up to keep people on board as long as they keep doing what they're doing, because they're doing some great stuff. All right, now on to the rest of the catalog. And we're going to start with, forgive the fact that it says store copy all over the front. This is for us. But y'all, big news right here, right out of the gate. Void Rivals is the new book from Robert Kirkman. It's a new shared universe that he's going to be telling multiple stories within. And Robert Kirkman, he has earned, he's got enough equity with me that I'm going to try whatever he does. I may not love it, I may not stick with it, but I will. I owe it to him to give it a shot.
Hey, Bill, are you talking about Night Terrors?
That's a darn good question.
Do what?
That's a good question.
Is Night Terrors is that new miniseries that's coming up, isn't it?
Yes.
It's going to be more horror based.
Yes, as the name implies, absolutely is.
Yeah, I mean it's horror. So when's that supposed to hit?
In Hell We Fight. That's a weird sounding title. The book over here looks like Tom Sawyer or something, right? I mean, that's not what you would expect from a book called In Hell We Fight. But the premise of this is really interesting. Life in hell isn't easy. Demons try to torture you for eternity. Monsters want to eat you. There's a stunning lack of reliable indoor plumbing. It's almost impossible to get ice cream. But in this book, 3 teens who have been condemned to hell and their annoying demon who just like hangs out with them decide to hijack a demon lord's delivery truck. They're like, screw this. We're going to get something better out of it. It looks like a really fun book. I'm intrigued enough that I'm going to want to read this.
Please tell me the annoying demon's name is Alan.
It probably is. I mean, look at this frog demon creature that's hanging out in the swamp. I mean, look at that.
You know what that reminds me of? Of something that should have been on the heavy metal movie that came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
All right, here's Void Rivals. That's the new book from Robert Kirkman. This looks pretty awesome. See how they describe it here. It's a shared universe, and it has a surprise you won't see coming. It's kind of sci-fi. It's two worlds kind of revolving around a collapsed black hole. So they're both in ruins and tatters, and things are a mess. But I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Here's one I never thought I'd see coming. Alan, cast your mind back to 1995. Can you do that?
All right, I'm there.
You're in 1995. We knew that this book was going to be late because all of these books were late. But finally, issue number 10.
Yeah, just a little late, but that's all right.
What's 28 years between friends?
But you know, that right there is ingenious marketing on their part. It really is. And
Uh,
and the fact that they're doing it that way, they're even making fun of themselves on some level. So that's great. I'm going to buy it just for that.
uh, I was really amused. I'm like, who is still hanging around waiting for this book? I mean, I don't know anybody who's like, man, I sure think that's going to actually come out. All right, here's the next one, y'all. This one looks freaking awesome. It, I think this looks straight up your alley. It says this is a ghost story for the end of the world. It's called Haunt You to the End, #1. Look at this cover.
I think I said that in my wedding vows.
I'm gonna haunt you to the end.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that cover. Isn't that gorgeous?
Lift up some. Little more. Little more. Perfect. Oh, I like that. So does it say if this is what era is that supposed to be in, or is it supposed to be an old abandoned house?
In a not so far future, rife with climate disasters and worldwide instability, an eccentric billionaire and his crew, which consists of a disgraced journalist, a radical doctor, a TV demonologist, and a squad of hard bitten military contractors, set out to prove the existence of life after death. But even if their mission is a success, the truth behind the most haunted place on earth may not be the comforting revelation the world is hoping for.
I like the way that sounds. That sounds like that might be a fun read.
It sounds really awesome to me. I'm excited for that.
And who's putting that one out?
That is Image.
Really?
Yes, sir. That's Image. Then this is a book called Click, Click, Boom. It's an assassin who is mute. She can communicate only through Polaroid pictures. She was raised by a doomsday prepping grandfather, but now she's gone to New York City to avenge her grandfather's murder, and she only communicates through Polaroids. It's called Click, Click, Boom.
Okay, that's interesting.
I like the way the cover looks like it's all Polaroids.
Yep.
Marvel event books to read. Well, without knowing which ones you've read, I would like to know some other information. But yeah, we could definitely do that.
Hey, Nick, 2 words. Devil's Reign.
Devil's Reign was surprisingly good.
Yes.
I really had no expectations that was going to be good, and I loved it.
And honestly, if you read Devil's Reign, I promise you will flow right over into Zdarsky's ongoing run currently. You just won't be able to help yourself. It's that good. In fact, Nick, so I'm in the process. I do these and I buy these a little bit at a time, just trying to find them and track them down. This will be in your box this weekend. I'll stick it in there tomorrow. Here's the graphic novel. It's a great read. It's a fun read. You can check it out.
Wait a minute. You heard the opposite. Who did you hear it from? You got 2 people right here who are a great source of truth for this stuff telling you. Whoever else you heard it from, I kindly disregard their opinion on that particular book.
I now must fight them to the death.
All right, here's a surprise entry. Like, did I ever think that I would see a comic of this? Do I want to see a comic of this? I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. Creed, #1, new limited series.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's going to work as a comic book.
I don't know. It's why what made them think comic book?
So Nick says that he needs that. But
you need Creed #1.
If it's on the Marvel app, I mean, go ahead and read it. It's Devil's Reign is great. There was a lot of tie-ins and stuff if you wanted to branch out some. But if you just wanted to read the graphic novel itself for the individual issues, I highly suggest it. If they're not all on the Marvel app, just let me know and I will stuff this in your box.
Yep. As far as I know, yes, that is Creed's first comic, and it says what this means. I'm not sure because he's not writing it, but it says it is under the creative direction of director and star Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
So take that as you will. Now, this next book I'm highlighting for one person in our audience, possibly two, definitely one, and that person is Kaylisa. Kaylisa, if you're listening and you've been kind of like nodding off this whole time, now is the time to wake back up and see the books I'm going to show you, because I'm pretty sure that you have told me that there is an anime about this that you like. I may be wrong, but I seem to recall it. It's an anime. It's a manga about fencing.
Okay.
And it's called Fence.
I've been kind of wanting to do this all night long, and I'm going to do it. Player 3 has entered the arena.
Oh no, Kaylisa, you're up. You're live.
Meow, I'm a cat.
Wow, that was impressive.
Yes, it's a very good imitation.
Honestly, if you would have started snoring, I would have ended the stream immediately and just went home. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. It would have been great.
What do you
No, I'm
think,
being
Kaylisa?
terribly boring and doing dishes. Listen to y'all.
Is this based on the anime, or is this a different thing?
I am not familiar with any. I think this is. I'm gonna be that person and saying it's a graphic novel. Because it's a novel by C.S. Pacat. I think I've got volume 1 of this, but it looks good.
I would also like to say, just to point out, the name of the artist.
Joanna the Mad.
That's the name of the artist, Joanna
That's
the Mad.
wonderful.
Or Johanna, I don't know, but whoever it is, the Mad. That's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
I kind of want to pick it up just to support that person.
I know Kaylisa needs to feed that baby.
He just screams forever and ever and ever.
He does that all the time. Nothing stops him.
Yeah.
But yes, I knew that was a book that might appeal to you, so I wanted to make sure you were aware of it.
Yeah.
Here is the cover, and then another cover for Creed #1.
That's the other cat.
I hear that. That sounds like Kepler.
Yep. He thinks that's a good book. He's excited for the one you just showed.
Oh, he loves Creed. Kepler's a big fan of boxing.
Yeah, he's a heavyweight himself. So.
He is a heavyweight. There's no doubt about that. Here's another one. This is called Wild's End. It's by Dan Abnett. I'll just show this other cover over here.
Ooh.
Okay, so what's that going to be about?
This is an alien-occupied interwar England. And it's an anthropomorphic cast of characters, so they are animals in the roles of the people. It says it continues the tradition of Black Sad, which is an awesome book if you've never read it. And aliens unlike anything you've ever seen, in the spirit of War of the Worlds meets Wind in the Willows.
Okay.
So take Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, mix it with War of the Worlds, and this is the book you get.
Interesting.
This like lantern octopus thing that's floating there is awesome looking. So I don't know if I like this, but I know I'm intrigued by it. I'll see. If, like me, you are intrigued. Kaylee, so you might like this little character sketch here of looks like Honey and Stevie are the two cats.
Oh, that's cute. Hang on, I'm feeding some feral beasts.
But look at this dog. Like Deputy Dog pushing that button.
That's McGruff the crime dog.
McGruff the crime dog. Yeah, that's more like it. That's fantastic. I don't know. Like I said, don't know if I'm going to like it, but I know it looks interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Scrolling. It's kind of a light month overall for new series launches. I will say, much lighter than typical. But once we get back down to AWA and who else? Mad Cave.
Yeah, you give me the AWA and Mad Cave, and I guarantee you we're going to find something in there to read.
There's a new Betty Page series coming out. I don't know how much money Dynamite gives to Diamond, but they have page after page after page of stuff. Are you reading the Gargoyle series right now?
No, I gave up on it. It just did absolutely nothing for me.
Well, if you were a fan of the show, this might be enough to make you want to check it out again. Demona returns.
Okay,
Demona,
I might
Demona
check
is
that
back.
one out.
Demona is back, and that's going to be interesting.
Now,
Because we've all been waiting for that.
Out of those books, the one that I cannot get enough of is that darn
Darkwing Duck.
That book is so much fun. It hits all the nostalgia just the right way. It's lighthearted. It's an easy read, and it's just fun. It just feels good to have it and read it.
The covers alone make it look like they're just having fun with the series.
And you can tell they're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Which is what they should do. It's what it's meant for.
I mean, I joke myself about it. I never in my life thought I would get excited to see Megavolt.
Fair.
And I'm like, it's Megavolt, you know? Yeah, if somebody wants one of those good nostalgia reads, I would definitely pick that up. And Bill, yes, I do kind of want to check that out. Check out Scar. I believe it come out today. I'm sorry, yesterday.
Yep.
Hey, I want to check that out and see how that's going to be done. I know they're going to do an entire villains series.
Yeah, Maleficent comes out here shortly, and that one looks great.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in Maleficent because that one does look really, really good. I would like to see a really good version of Gaston. I think that could be fun.
That would be fun. I agree.
I kind of want one where it's Gaston, but he's like the 80s villain where his father is gonna purchase the ski shack if the heroes don't put on the greatest talent show this city's ever seen and raise the money to save it, kind of thing.
I love it.
And you know that if that movie come out tomorrow, we would all go see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely we would. Man, there's a lot to flip through. A lot of folks. I don't know what's going on. This is very unusual for there to be so much back stock reissued and that sort of thing here without a bunch of new series.
Did they already post the stuff for the or is that's actually a good question. Is the 8 billion genies omnibus listed in that?
It's already been listed.
That's what I thought.
Yes, that one has already been listed, and I'm excited to see that. All right, here we go from AWA. Sins of the Salton Sea, number 1 of 5, written by Ed Brisson. This is a professional thief living off the grid, recruited by his brother for, guess what, one last job. They target an armored car traveling down a desolate stretch of California highway, and then it turns out that their cargo that they're targeting turns out not to be gold, which is what they thought it was, but human trafficking.
Ooh.
Sins of the Salton Sea. That looks gorgeous. And it's AWA, so I know you're going to want that one, Alan. And for anybody else who's been listening to us talk, you want it too. AWA has literally not put out a bad book yet. Not one.
Oh, so it's funny that you literally brought that up because I was jumping around websites to see if anybody was advertising something. And I clicked on Sins of the Salton Sea, and I don't know if it says it in there, but if what Josh told you doesn't pull you in, listen to this. Will Wyatt protect the boy who has come into his charge, or will he be swayed by the cult's increasingly convincing claims that the end of the world is fast approaching? Yes, please. Need it.
Yeah, I get that. End
End of the world, saving kids, cults involved. I got to read it.
He may not save the kid. It sounds like he's trying to decide whether he needs to save the kid or kill the kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. AWA has only put out one book that disappointed me, and I really hate that. And the whole thing was the book started out so good, but by the end of the series, I was so over it that I was just kind of whatever. I could care less. This has kind of got really dumb really quick. And
Which
that
book
was
was
Marjorie Finnegan.
Yeah, it lost the tone as it
Yeah.
got toward the end. But even so, it was still good. It wasn't like it was just it wasn't a foul ball. It was a single or a double instead of a home run, right?
Yeah.
So much flipping through. I tell you, there is a Storm Shadow statue or an action figure yet that's coming out here soon. It's like $180, and it's Storm Shadow in his urban camo outfit.
Nice.
It looks amazing, but $180.
That's a little expensive.
That's a little rich.
Nick, I have no idea. I have not read it yet. I definitely want to pick it up and check it out though.
All right. We are on now to Mad Cave Studios. First book out of the gate here by Kevin Castanero is called You've Been Canceled. Kind of tapping into some of what's going on right now, except they take the setting. It's kind of a Keith Giffen looking art style there on the cover. Not my favorite. But it's like this idea just takes cancel culture to its logical conclusion, and what happens if that's just how things are. So yeah, kind of insane. Then guess what? More Nottingham.
Cannot go wrong with more Nottingham.
Nope, you cannot. Nottingham is awesome. This cover for Monomyth number 2, dude, look at this.
And you know that cover fits the story perfectly. Anybody, and it's kind of weird because I know y'all haven't read Monomyth number 1 yet, but when you read Monomyth number 1, that spiraling staircase in that cover of issue number 2 is going to make so much sense to you.
Let's see. Here's the cover for Exorcist Never Die number 3 and Hunt, Kill, Repeat number 4.
And I'm looking forward to all of that.
Indeed. Some good stuff here. Hey, you won some stuff recently from Mad Cave Studios. Has it come in yet?
No, it has not come in yet. I'm literally waiting on it to come in. Which, honestly, I'm glad it didn't come in yesterday and it did not come in today because it's been pouring at the house, and that's one package I don't want to get wet. So if it takes the post office a couple of extra days, so be it.
Yeah, the weather should be pretty decent the next few days after. Well, it's rainy tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think it clears up after that.
And I'll be honest with you, I am looking for, I know that, you know, what the preview says, Exorcist Never Die 3. Issue 1 has not come out yet. Y'all still got time to jump on that. Mad Cave is another one of those that they're on a hell of a roll. I mean, they're putting the ball in play with some of their books. Ooh, what's that?
No Rest for the Wicked.
Who is that?
Source Point Press. Look at that.
Didn't Source Point
They've done a lot of books. Some of them have been really, really good, and some of them haven't been my favorite. But this is, let's see, a mysterious cowboy named Reno shows up in the booming silver mining town of Crooked Creek. A card game goes about as badly as it can, and Reno runs afoul of the local powers that be. Rescued from death in the desert by a local native tribe for their own purposes, Reno is sent on a mission of vengeance as more than a man, but less than human.
Is Source Point the company that did, was it Nightmare Man? It was a one-shot?
Maybe. I don't remember that one.
I want to say it come out last year. Okay.
Sounds about right.
I got to look them up now.
They did that one, Kayleesa. I remember you and Mike really liked it with the Goblin Market. That was a really fun one. So I think we're about to the end here. We're at Valiant now, scrolling through. Vault. Maybe what's Vault got? Anything good? Any new series launches from Vault?
I think I've only read one or two of Vault's books.
Vault has been, I don't think they're quite at the same level as AWA, but Vault has been very good. And I will say from a retailer perspective, Vault has been very good to work with.
Source Point did Cult of Dracula. Okay.
Yes.
And Source of Darkness. So they're not just jumping off. I mean, they do solid horror. They do really good horror.
Yeah, they're not shy about it. Vault,
especially Cult of Dracula.
Yes. Vault did a book. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it was...
What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Kyle. It was kind of like futuristic Tokyo with vampires. And the police trying to solve the mystery of a guy who was killed ostensibly by a vampire, but there's no way it could have happened. It was really, really cool. That came out a couple of years ago, as I recall.
Okay, that is driving me crazy, that Nightmare. It was not Source Point that did Nightmare Man.
Nightmare Man.
Maybe it was them.
So, to talk quickly about the expo coming up, did you see the guest announcement that was just made yesterday?
Yes, I did. And my Lethal Protector #1's already been signed and remarked by him. So, but I still want to go check him out.
I did not see the announcement. What's up?
There's a new comic book guest coming, or returning comic book guest coming. Sam De La Rosa. He was the inker on Venom Lethal Protector.
Ooh.
He's done a lot of Venom stuff. He's a super nice guy. But he's coming back to the expo this year as a surprise late edition.
That's fun.
So yeah, we're not just adding a guest, but adding a comic book guest. I am on board.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. So, y'all, this video that Nick Ellis is talking about, I gave him a book that I had been looking for a long time. Like we've talked about on the show before, I could have bought it on eBay. I could have gotten it a long time ago, but that's not any fun for me. I don't want to just go and buy a book online like that. I want to find it. I want it to be a visceral experience. I want it to be a tactile experience, and I want to find it. So I finally found this book I've been wanting forever. Which is the first appearance of the Legion of Monsters. That's Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider, Dracula, all these guys, right? So, did I say Nick?
So, the way that you pay him back for that, Dustin, because I know.
Did I do that?
I know who you are, and I love you for who you are. But the way you pay Josh back for that is you accidentally send me the book that you just did for him.
Wait, did I say that? I didn't think I said anybody's name. Maybe I did. I'm so sorry, Dustin. Anyway, so this book, I finally found it. And how would you describe it, Dustin? I think it's a beater. It had been well read and well loved. And I'm thinking like maybe a 2.0 from CGC, maybe. probably not worth it to send to them to get cleaned, slab. But right, yeah, you have a story to tell with it, and that's part of the fun, right? If you just buy it off eBay, there's no story there. You just click the button. It's no good. But anyway, so I finally got my hands on this book, and I wanted somebody to clean it and press it and breathe a little life into it, if that was even possible to do, because this book's in bad shape. So I sent it to the comic book chiropractor, none other than Mr. Dustin Ellis of Two Brothers Comics. And he's been working on it the past couple of days to clean this thing up. Are you pulling it up so we can watch it on here? Is that what you're doing?
No, I was actually jumping over and looking at something else right quick, but I can. It won't take me just a second.
You should, so we can all glory in this beautiful thing that Dustin has done.
Dustin, where did is it on your personal Facebook page, or where did you slap it up at?
Where did you put that video? Where could it be?
Put it on IG or?
He said Facebook.
Yep.
He said he just posted a video on our Facebook, and he said our Facebook, which makes me think it's the Two Brothers page.
So let's go.
So we're doing a little detectiving, a little sleuthing. We're no Batman, but we're not terrible.
Yes, it looks like it is the Two Brothers page.
Yeah, I said probably not much you can do with it. That's exactly what I said. Because it's beat up, y'all. It is beat up. But it's mine. It's my beat up book that I've wanted for decades. And I'm excited about it because I get excited about silly things. Oh, he says it looks better on Instagram because it didn't scale well on Facebook. But he knows I'm not on Instagram, so that's what he thinks.
Okay, so let's do this.
We're going to jump over to the Instagram, yeah. Instagram.
Dustin, is it on Two Brothers or Comic Book Chiropractor?
I bet it's on Comic Book Chiropractor. That's where I'd put it. The audio was good. It said it's on both. You can't go wrong. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. So while he's doing that, Kaylisa, outside of waiting for 8 Billion Genies hardcover to come out, since you won that for being awesome, have you had a chance to read like The Last Barbarians yet?
I have not. It's lingering and malingering in my subscription box.
No, you gotta read it. That's it, The Legion of Monsters. There you go.
Hey, look, I know there's only 8 people watching, and I'm hoping over the next few days this video will jump 9 people. This video will jump up to like 30 or 40 views, maybe 50 if we're lucky. I'm going to say this. My boy Dustin on IG Comic Book Chiropractor is at 449 followers. Y'all see if y'all can get him to 500.
Yeah, do it.
If you're on IG, go for it.
All right, so let's check this thing out.
Let's do it. So what's with the little bird at the bottom?
How do you do it, dude? I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I have no clue. Zilch, nada, none, dude. I'm just winging it. Okay, I'm just winging it like a little baby bird, dude. And it just keeps working, dude. I'm like, whoa, I know. And then, dude, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, dude. Everybody's always like, wow, how do you do it? Wow, so good. How do you do it, dude?
Man, the back cover, it's a different color.
Yeah, it really is. Dustin, you did a great job.
There was like 400 years of schmutz on that thing. Multiple layers. How did you do that? Share your secrets, Dustin.
So here is, this is the same one. So, and I mean, yeah, and Dustin's got a lot of cool stuff on his page, stuff that he's worked on and everything, except for this book right here. I still don't understand the fascination with it.
Because it's got your 8 Mile Man on the front.
Yep. And if anybody's, and look, I know y'all can say what y'all want to say. I do consider Dustin a friend of mine, but at the same time, I have dealt with Dustin before. I have bought a comic book from Dustin, a graded book. If y'all are looking to buy a book off of Instagram or through somebody, Dustin's a great guy to deal with. He will do y'all right. And you buy a book online, you worry about shit. You really do. Like, are they going to package it right? Am I going to get it? Am I about to get ripped off? You don't have to worry about any of that stuff with Dustin. So yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm throwing some love to Dustin tonight. I'm over it.
That's fair. Did you see his answer to how I said, how did you get that clean on the back?
See, with me, it would be about 2 minutes and then about an hour and a half of yelling and screaming.
Whoa, look at this. ASM 4 and 6. Dude, that's some awesome stuff. I know another guy, his last name is Ellis too. He's a huge Spider-Man fan, that early Spider-Man. You might could sell those to him. I'm just saying, I don't know if you know that guy or not.
And hey, Dustin, this dude he's talking about, he's not very good at negotiating, so you could probably run the price up a little bit on him.
He's a reverse negotiator.
While I got the screen up sharing, let's see if we can. No, I'll have to do this and then switch over. Because I know we're running up on 2 hours, but I did want to show this right quick, just to kind of give everybody an idea. I can't remember if we did this when Mark London was on. But for those, and it's kind of funny that I'm doing this because I was talking to Jeremy Bernal the other night. I'm loving that these companies are doing trailers for comic books that are coming out.
It is kind of fun.
I just think it's fun. I mean, it may be silly, but I think it's fun. This one right here is the new Exorcist Never Die.
Which I got to tell y'all, that's a fun book. And the magic system in there, like divine magic and stuff, the way that it works is really, really interesting. I really enjoyed the preview copy of this that I got to read.
And this does look like it's going to be a fun book.
Yeah, that story, you very much get the impression that the two main characters have been around for a really long time, fighting evil for a very long time. And then you get the impression that, well, it's pretty clear. Something happened that was bad between them. And they are no longer an item and they don't like each other very much anymore. But now they have to work together. And so there's this whole dynamic just between them that's really interesting.
So Kyle, that's actually kind of a funny story. Those are curtains behind me. So I do not have high-speed internet at my house. My sister only lives like 6 minutes away, so I run down to her house so we can do the show on Thursday nights. And my sister had these god awful, butt ugly, hideous, should be burned in the 9th level of hell curtains. I mean, they're just awful. And we used to make so much fun of them. So my sister got tired of us making fun of the curtains. So she went and bought some Batman curtains. These are just, I think she got them on Amazon, to be honest with you. And it was just so we could have a backdrop and stop making fun of her curtains.
That's what else can you ask for?
Exactly. She's a good sister. Just don't tell her I said that.
Y'all stop making fun of my curtains.
Yeah, and they've got, I don't know if it's already come out or if it's getting ready to come out. Oh, crap. What was the name of it? Cayman Line? Canaan Line?
I don't know.
It's Mad Cave Studios. And it's, yes, the Carmen Line. It's, I didn't want to play the trailer because I don't know exactly what's in it. I knew I was safe playing the Exorcist trailer because I've watched it like 25 times.
It is a good one.
Yeah, it shut both of us up real quick. We were like all up into that. But the Carmen Line, it's like a reality show, but they're on a space station. And it literally says that they receive a signal telling them to get back to Earth immediately, like some type of distress call.
Oh, that's right. I remember reading that preview. That looked really interesting. But by the time they get back, it's too late.
Yeah, and it says something about the reality show itself that made me, and I could probably play the trailer and we'd be just fine. I mean, we're closing on 9:00, but I just didn't know, so I didn't want to run the risk. So yeah, I kind of want to definitely check that one out too.
Yep, that looks really interesting. I agree.
Oh, and Nick Ellis, if you're still watching, yes, I did sign you up for Exorcist Never Die. You need a new series in your life.
He needs more than one. He needs to stop being so cranky, like all modern books suck. Only old stuff is good. There's a lot of great stuff that's coming out right now, bro. Like phenomenal stuff.
I think Nick is going through a phase that every single collector goes through at least once or 25 times.
Very true.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I went through that phase about 2 or 3 years ago. I literally quit reading comic books. But the thing is, I've been collecting for so long, I knew I was going through the phase. I never stopped buying. I still showed up every week. I still got my pull list, and my pull list just got stacked up for almost a year. One day, I literally walked into the room where I keep all my comics. I thought, I really need to bag and board some of these. I started bagging them and boarding them. I started sorting through them, and a cover caught my eye. And I was like, I wonder what's going on. And literally, I started reading, just trying to figure out what was going on. And that's literally how it starts. I mean, something will catch your eye. It's just a phase.
7 hours later, your wife walks in and says, "Are you going to come eat or not?" And you're like,
yeah,
what?
Like a week later, you've read 1.5 years worth of comic books, and there's a really good plus side to this phase that you're going through. You just don't see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
When you do sit down and start reading again, it's going to feel like you're rediscovering those characters all over again. You're going to fall in love with those characters all over again. I'm glad that I stopped reading for almost a year, actually a little over a year, because when I did start reading again, I forgot how much I enjoyed Daredevil. I forgot how much I enjoyed the independent comics. Like I said, you're going to fall in love with those characters all over again. It's just a phase. Calm down. You'll be okay. Impossible Man is still going to suck at the end of this phase. But hey, you'll be okay.
And I will say other things too, like that thread that we've got going on where we'll just like, boom, talk. Here's what I just read. This was amazing. That gets you excited too, right? When you read something you loved and somebody else reads it and they're like, oh my God. So then you talk about it.
Yeah.
It's this feedback loop that's just like, it spins you up even more. It's fantastic. Hey, Nathan Saint popping on to say happy birthday to Haven. Yes, thank you. 22 years old now. Just 3 more years, we'll be able to rent a car. But yes, that's awesome. Thanks, man. 22 years. Some awesome stuff. Indeed. So yeah, agree. It is a phase. Power through it. There is great stuff on the other side. How is no one? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. That's the whole beginning of the show. That was the first thing we talked about. And let me tell you, it's fan-freaking-tastic. It's a beautiful story. And by beautiful, I don't mean like it's, oh, this work of art beautiful. I mean, it's just so stunningly well told. The artwork is gorgeous. The plotting is great. The pacing is great. It's everything you want in a story. Then on top of that, you've got Twitter and Instagram pages that are all augmented reality stuff that are set in that world, and it's posting stuff that's happening, like sightings of this character, no one. And then there's a podcast. There's one that's going to come out after each issue of the comic. And it's like a 30, 40-minute podcast. Patton Oswalt is doing one of the voices. It's fantastic. Yeah, we talked about that one earlier too, Nate.
And Kyle, that was one of the things we were talking about. When we were going through comics over the past few weeks earlier, I really didn't include comics of people that we've interviewed here lately, just because we've been doing a lot of talking about their books the past few weeks. But right now, I can honestly tell you, if you're looking for some really good books to read, No One, Dead Romans, Hunt, Kill, Repeat.
Clear.
Yeah, and Clear. Even though we have not gotten Scott Snyder on the show yet.
Shame on him.
We will get him. Eventually, they will all fall to us. Those are 4 books right now that you cannot go wrong with. They are so much fun to read. They are literally why we read these type of books. I mean, those are the it's just hard to explain. I mean, they're 4 books, like I said, No One, Dead Romans, Hunt, Kill, Repeat, and Clear. All 4 of them are fun. All 4 of them are distinctively different. They're independent books. They're not bound by any type of brand recognition. They can just go out and do their own thing, and they're doing it. And I mean, they're doing it big in these books. And it's just so much fun. It's such a good time to be a fan of independent comics.
Could not agree more. It's fan-freaking-tastic.
So I drew a stick figure once, and if you're willing to pay $100, I'll draw another one.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't really thought about doing any Haven exclusive covers, and there's reasons for that. One, there's a minimum order of how many comics you have to get of the regular cover, plus the cover that you commissioned to have done. And it's a lot more than we could ever sell. It's just, and then there's a premium you have to pay on top of that. So you have to have a really big event, something like the Expo or something, to make that worthwhile. But even then, it's a crapshoot of, is the book going to be popular, and are people going to buy that cover? It's a game that we're just not well suited to play. Now, I might consider it for, say, a G.I. Joe 301, for example.
It'd be a good one to do it for.
Because I could have that on hand forever and still be happy. See, that one won't be one I've got boxes of in the back room, and I kick it every time I walk past and go, rah, 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 why do I have this? But yeah, G.I. Joe 301 special Haven exclusive cover. Yeah, I might could do that. So now that I've thought about it, I may have talked myself into something really stupid. Maybe, I don't know. Hey, we finally got somebody to put a like on this thing just now. Y'all hit that thumbs up now.
Bless them. Oh, speaking of likes and stuff, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been following along on the YouTube shorts.
Yes.
It's really weird. We had a short last night, has hit 1,600 views. We had a short tonight that hit like 30 views. It's hit or miss with YouTube shorts. But thank y'all for everybody that's been going and checking those out and watching them. The channel's growing. It's been a lot of fun doing these shorts. I'm going to keep doing them. Overall, the channel right now is at 49,290 views. I'm really hoping that by lunchtime Saturday, we are over 50,000 overall views. I think I can pull that off with a couple more shorts. Really, I can probably pull it off.
Don't pull off your shorts, Alan.
I won't pull off my shorts, but I will pull off some shorts. And I just want to say thanks to everybody that's been following along with that stuff. It's been helping us out. If one thing that I have noticed, I know this is like extremely late in the stream to do this, about 96% of all of our views come from people that are not subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
It's real easy. It's real cheap because it's free. Just click the like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon so that way you'll know every time we go live. And speaking of going live, and we'll probably talk about it again in a week, as of right now, I plan on going live from the Expo Friday and Saturday and Sunday morning for a little while. I don't know how. It's really going to depend on reception. If reception is not that good inside the venue, that I can go live, I will get tons of video and I will be posting some, not like stream long form content, but maybe some good 5-10 minute videos, kind of walk y'all around, show y'all some stuff. If everything goes as planned, Thursday evening when we actually do the setup, there will not be a shop talk that night. It's just going to be impossible. But depending on how long setup takes and everything, I might go live for a few minutes and kind of show y'all what's going on the night before so y'all can see the mass chaos. Jeremy Long, if you're watching, I will be pestering you. I will just randomly appear out of nowhere and stick a camera in your face and tell you to tell people why they need to come out and see y'all. And at some point,
since you have a media pass, you're obligated.
I am obligated. Yes, I am very excited. I do have a media pass for the weekend. At some point, I will have video of me running up behind Dustin and Nick Ellis and screaming, "Oh my God, it's Two Brothers Comics." I just think that'll be funny. I might even get my kids to do it some. I hadn't decided yet.
Mob them. Yep.
Yep.
To answer your question quickly, Nate, you just listened to us on Shop Talk. We talk about the good ones. If we're not talking about it, it's because we're not excited about it.
Honestly, as far as out of all 8 gabillion Batman titles, the main title by Zdarsky, Batman Joker Deadly Duo by Silasteri, and Detective Comics.
That's the ones you should be reading right now.
Yep.
Fantastic stuff. But yeah, so and then we also have coming up on May 6th is Free Comic Book Day. Is it May 6th? Whatever day it is, first Saturday of May, Free Comic Book Day. And we're going to be doing some filming at that too. So we got a lot of stuff coming up and it's going to be fun. So we are like way over the 2-hour mark at this point. We got to end this bad boy. So anything you want to say here at the end to let folks know before we sign off?
Yes, Josh is correct. May 6th is Free Comic Book Day. I just looked it up. If I forget to say something about it, Josh will be signing autographs all weekend long at the Expo.
I will.
You will.
Okay, I will. You bring it, I'll sign it.
It might not be his name that he signs, but he will sign autographs.
And then Alan and I will verify the authenticity and put it in a Ziploc bag for you for $75 a pop. The process will take 8 to 10 months. But it should come back to you.
Yes, and if you want a Shop Talk exclusive cover, we will wrap whatever comic book you want in Reynolds wrap, call it acetate, and write our names on it.
We're very creative that way, and apparently on a budget.
We'll also do a mystery box wherein you give us money and we will randomly grab from the dollar bin until we feel that you have an equivalent amount and give it to you.
Dude, that would have to be one of those big Funkos.
There are people who repaint Funkos. Like if you get one, they find.
A question for you, Kaylisa.
Sadly, no. The deliveries have gotten erratic, and we just haven't been able to do it. Maybe we'll pick back up in the summer, but now that we know that people actually come and watch stuff later.
They do. Well, all right, everybody. Y'all have a great night. Stay tuned for some awesomeness that is coming up, and we will catch y'all next time.